Hey YouTube, got a bit of a different kind of thing here. Basically, still a deck video, but in a different format. This is in the Legacy format. Now, I know a lot of people don't really play that kind of thing, but for me, it's a bit of a throwback because I played quite a lot in 2013, and you know, that was when I had most of my success. Let's say pre the whole XY generation. Well, pre-Flashfire. Well, that was when I had a lot of my success, and this kind of harkens back to that, but with some extra tools in the form of some of the older cards from Heart Gold, Soul Silver to Call of Legends. So yeah, one of the decks I've been messing around with is TDK, just classic kind of TDK, but a couple of twists really. You didn't get to play TDK like this back in 2013. So I'll just go through the list, go through the concept really. Basically, Thundurus, one of your main attackers. The attack Raiden Knuckle does 30 damage, attaches an energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Team Plasma Pokemon, so he can't do it to himself. But that's pretty good. You can discard a Rainbow or Prism or even the Plasma Energies, and then reattach them with Thundurus. He helps you just build up energy and do damage, do chip damage to take knockouts. Thunderous Noise isn't really that often used. 90 damage. If you have Plasma Energy attached, you discard an energy. Attach them. That's okay as well. This one thing as well to mention, this 30 damage really isn't just 30 damage, but if you don't really know of some of these older cards, here's why. So Deoxys has the ability Power Connect. So your Team Plasma Pokemon do 10 more damage per Deoxys on the field. Of course, that doesn't work on Deoxys itself, so you don't do more damage. Helix Force as an attack is actually very acceptable as well. If this Pokemon has any Plasma Energy attached, it does 30 more damage for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon, which is it's actually pretty good. 30, and then say if they have 3, you're hitting for 120 already. With Laser Bank, you're doing 150. So with 4 energy was kind of the key, a sort of key thing to hit back then. With Deoxys, you do 150, Laser Bank would KO it, but you can actually do snipe damage as well with Kyurem. So this Kyurem's attack does 30-30, but of course with the Power Connect Deoxys, you can do a lot more. You can do, well, let's say you have 2-3 Deoxys down, and then Laser Bank you're doing like 80-90, and then 30 to the bench for only 2 energy, and then of course you can follow it up with a Blizzard Burn for a knockout. One thing I have in here as well is the Absol. 20 plus 20 more for each damage, each Pokemon on your opponent's bench. That's pretty good. Sometimes a surprise attacker, because you can just drop it down with a Prism and Colress Machine to it, and then knock something out, and they don't often see it coming. Well, one Shaman, one of these Shamans, I don't think I'd play more if I had them, but only one. Celebration Wind is such a great power. I played back in 2012 as well, when format was Zekrom Electric, and well, Mewtwo Zekrom Electric, and then Celebi Mewtwo Tornadus was a big deck, and Darkrai Mewtwo. There's a lot of Mewtwo there. Basically, Celebration Wind could just move the energy to something, take a big knockout. Really strong. Quite a few games I've messed around with this. Celebration Wind has just won me it. I've also got Keldeo for the should keep this up so people can read it, for the Russian Retreat option with Floatstone. Secret Sword is not impossible to attack with, but doesn't really happen all too often in this kind of deck. Next, actually, I'll go on to the energy. See, I'm playing 4 Prism, 4 Rainbow, 4 Plasma. I decided on this, even though Rainbow does energy to your own Pokemon, the numbers it hits are only, aren't like overly relevant. The only thing it's bad against is Genesect, and then it is pretty bad. But generally, I've found in how you don't beat Genesect just that way. Like if a Genesect takes a knockout on the Kyurem, it's honestly not the end of the world. If you have to if you make them G-booster to do it, that is obviously better. But the idea as well is often to discard the rainbows, so you reattach them with Raid Knuckle, and that's fine. But basically, you could run the 4 Prism and then the 4 Blend, or a mix of blends, but you really want all the energy, all the different types to be able to attack with Deoxys or Absol. This format seems to kind of lend itself towards that. So yeah, that's why 4 Rainbow, 4 Prism because it's just Rainbow in this deck, pure basic deck, and 4 Plasma Energy. Some viewers, some new viewers might not have seen this card before. Just provides colourless energy, but as you've seen with some of the attacks, it has a special effect for certain Plasma Pokemon. But the real reason you play it is because of this card here. So skipping straight from Energy to this card. You search your deck for a Plasma Energy card and attach it to one of your Plasma Pokemon. It's kind of like a, better Max Elixir, but specifically only for this colourless energy. That helps you power up attacks really quickly. Back in 2013, Worlds 2013, after that they changed the turn 1 rule, but around that time, the turn 1 rule was that you could attack turn 1, and so you could actually Frost Spear turn 1, which was often very strong, coupled with Laser Verbank. I'll go on to the supporters now. Nothing like too stellar. I've not really messed around with this line too much. Just thought 4 Juniper, just keep drawing. 2 N, because you will need to sometimes try and end your opponent down low, and at the beginning of the game it's just a Oak, and, well, here is Oak, it's just shuffle, draw 6. Perfectly fine supporter throughout the game. 2 Chorus, because you do fill your bench very quickly, and most of your opponents will fill their bench very quickly. Now, these items are kind of all over the place. I picked Computer Search just because I find it's really strong. I think Life Dew is okay as well. I think don't play Dowsing Machine because of a card that's in here. Scramble Switch is kind of okay, but Shaman sort of does that anyway. Quite like just Computer Search guaranteeing a card or guaranteeing consistency. So where to go from here? Playing 3 Ultra Ball, which, considering the other ball search options such as Plasma Ball and Dual Ball, might seem a bit too high, but part of the reason is this kind of engine. So you Ultra Ball, discard some cards. You can discard energies from your hand and power them back with Thundurus. It's part of the engine. Then the other part is that you can then bicycle up to 4 cards, which you can then, with the Junk Arm, discard more cards, play the 1 card that remains, say, and then bicycle again with Junk Arm, for example. So yeah, I'm not sure if I made that clear. Yeah, hopefully you draw a Junk Arm, or you have Junk Arm in hand, discard some cards, play the card, bicycle for 4 more. Just keeps you drawing quite well. Now, there's only 2 bicycle in this, because I found that actually to be enough. You can draw with supporters if you're not finding it. You'll just have a slightly slower game, but you can also discard too many resources if you do that. So I found 2 to be the right amount. Moving on. Well, Junk Arm, some of you might not know what that is, so here's a card that was pretty good at the time I played, but when it first came out, wasn't really played much at all. You'd think if this card was printed now, I think it'd be like 4 of in every deck. Discard 2 cards from your hand, search your discard pile for a trainer card, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand. Can't use Junk Arm with the effect of this card. So trainer meaning item here, so you can't get stadiums. You can't get supporters either. This card actually existed when it first came out with Versus Seeker, and both of them were like 61st cards. Now you play 4 of these for Versus Seeker, and you just never, you'd never draw dead. Basically, you'd always have an out or always have something. Yeah, and you get to play with 4. You didn't get to in 2013 because it had rotated. So it's quite fun to play Legacy. You can put in 4 Junk Arms and do the draw, such as I said already. Now, already explained Chorus Machine, no need for that. 1 Lost Remover. Basically, there is quite a lot of special energy in this Legacy format. There's Rusian Genesect that plays Plasma Energies. There's this deck, which luckily a lot of people only put in 1, which I think is probably correct, but this deck runs just 12, so it could be, if you ran into a deck that played a ridiculous amount like 4, and then Junk Armed 4 times, they could put them in the lost zone, and putting them in the lost zone means you can't get them back with Thundurus. So, kind of pretty cool card. It's just a better enhanced hammer against this deck anyway. And it's junk armable. You just keep it just for some pretty important matchups. Mirror as well. The matchups in this format are quite interesting. There's a reasonable amount of Blastoise, but not too much online because people don't have the beaches. There's recent Genesect, Empoleon, Dusknoir, and just some people trying random kooky stuff. So, onto lasers. People who play Expanded will know about this card. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon's asleep. Even if not, they get poisoned, and then the poison damage racks up with Burbank City Gym, which is your stadium of choice here. Only 2 Burbank City Gyms. They're generally used for like tempo KO kind of things. Against Rosie and Genesect, which play 4 Skyfield, you generally can't hurt them with poison anyway. So only 2 seems to be okay. Yep, onto, well, I play 1 Escape Rope and 2 Floatstone. Basically, 2 Floatstone with Keldeo gives you switching options, but sometimes you're going to need just an extra switching option as well, which Escape Rope, since there's no guaranteed catcher in this format, Escape Rope can kind of be a pseudo catcher, pseudo Lysander, let's say, at the time. As well as that, actually, I play 2 catcher, just because you get to reuse them with Junk Arm. Dragging something up can be pretty important. When the card actually went to a flip, it wasn't played that heavily. It actually went to a flip, let's see, 2013. It's been about 3 years where it's barely been played. It's been in format the whole time. When Lysander came out, people stopped really playing it, especially when Versus Seeker came out with it. Oh, I meant to mention the Jewel Ball. I'm kind of playing this because it's a bit of a throwback, to be honest. I got to play Jewel Ball back in 2012 with Mewtwo, Zekrom, Electric. Flip 2 coins. For each head, search your deck for a basic Pokemon. 75% chance to get a Pokemon. 25% chance to get 2. It's pretty good, really. It can be reused with Junk Arm, just like an alternative to Ultra Ball. So you can't actually always afford to discard as much as you want with Ultra Ball. 1 tool Scrapper, just remove G-Booster, just remove Floatstone, things like that. Some tools are pretty important to remove. You can also Junk Arm it back if they Junk Arm the tool. You only tend to need 1. It's very good against Garbodor, but weirdly enough, not seen that much Garbodor when I've been playing this format. There is Sableye Garbodor with Life Dew and Junk Arm, so that actually exists, and Tool Scrapper just kind of helps you manage that, because for each time they Scrapper, each time they attach Life Dew, you can Scrapper it back and hope to get enough prizes, especially since you can do snipe damage. Believe that's it for the items. 1 Super Rod. I don't actually have any basic energy, so this is just for Pokemon. And it helps because you can only really fit 1 Keldeo. You might need to reuse some Kyurems. Your bench often gets quite full, so you need to discard stuff pretty often, to be honest. And sometimes that can be Pokemon. Super Rod just helps you get a bit of recovery. Not sure really exactly how this list holds up. I don't think I actually was very clear on the counts, so I'll just go through this. Having 2 Thundurus is you like starting with it, but it's not like 100% necessary. If you can Raid and Knuckle turn 2 or turn 1 going second, you're pretty happy. You can often switch it into the active if needed, but Kyurem's your main star, which is why you run 3. Frost Spear turn 1 going second, or you can actually Blizzard Burn turn 2 going first. Both incredibly powerful attacks, so you're on 3. Absol's like kind of Kyurem substitute. It would be Kyurem number 4, but it's got a very strong 2 energy attack, so that's why you play that. And then 4 Deoxys, just because of the Adam Hawkins memes, really. No, just you want to have them throughout the game. Sometimes you'll actually have 3 on the bench, rarely ever 4. If you do 4, it tends to lose you a top 8 game. Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of memories with this kind of deck as well. 2013 was a really good season for me. It's like I started in 2012 in March, and I only went to say 3 or 4 tournaments before nationals. And then the next season I played Ho-Oh for a lot of it, and then when TDK came out, I made top 4 at nationals. Did the double supporter thing, so no Skylar in this list, as some of you might have noticed. Skylo is actually a very reasonable card in this deck, just for one time you need a specific item. Just thought I'd mention that. And then Worlds, I came actually 7th in Swiss, so that was like the best run I'll ever have. But and then sadly, well, I remember looking at the list of names and seeing number 26, who'd be the person I was against. My face dropped. It was Jason Klaczynski, and he was playing quite an auto win at the time. Darkrai Sableye over 2 Enhanced Hammer. So I got knocked out top 32 and came 20th place overall. Alongside 3 other UK players that year, Tamao, Cameron, Charlie Powell, and the the classic Sami Sakun making top cut at Worlds every year. So yeah, it's quite a throwback to the game, how the game was for me. It's also got, I don't know why I like it so much, but when my deck is 12, 36, 12, just makes me a bit happy about. Oh wait, I should probably save it in case I made any changes. I don't think I have. Yeah, Legacy is a very fun format. Some other decks I've been messing around with. Rails, I forgot to mention that. Rails is quite good. This one I might ask Nick to do for his channel. No, yeah, a lot of fun. These kind of decks. Get to use my meme Empoleon Magnezone deck, which the double supporter jokes never stopped. I think somewhere I have about 20 of these. Whenever I got a card through the post, someone always sent an extra Magnezone with it. Yeah, so for me, it's like a kind of trip down memory lane. First expanded tournament I ever got to play, I played Rails, as in the I believe it's called Dragon Burst Rayquaza, just kind of a throwback. Actually, lost the winner in to Jeffrey playing Hippowdon. So if you're watching this, Jeffrey, shout out to you. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was good time. It's yeah, quite fun format. I know a lot of people don't really have all the cards for it, but you can live through me playing it. So let's see, what am I against? Water, Psychic, Dragon, Metal. I'm not entirely sure. Could be some Blastoise concoction. It's probably a deck it's really obvious that it is. Oh, this is a very, very hard call, guys. I think I'm going to go heads. Oh, sick. Going first is still pretty important in Legacy. Well, here's a dead hand. So, I get to attack. Turn 2. That's something. Might be against some Mewtwo kind of thing. Okay, some Cleffa. Ah, if only I had a laser bank, I could dunk this Cleffa. There's Keldeo here, so I won't do that. I think, based on my hand, I'm probably not Ultra Balling here, because I'll have to discard. Well, I could discard the Shaman and the Plasma Energy, and then take one card out of the deck. Oh, I'm actually a bit stupid. I forgot. I took Jirachi out of this. No, I actually found Jirachi to not be great in this because it's a bench spot, in case anyone's wondering. So yeah, I can put the Kyurem down. I'll actually attach this to the Thundurus. And then just pass. Consideration, of course, to play stuff like Lugia, Snorlax. You will have to play DC if you do that. My opponent's playing... this is all the stuff I have for Legacy deck. Throwback again to Adam Hawkins killing me with an Articuno when I was playing Ho-Oh. Yeah, as you might have seen here, he's attached to Plasma Energy's turn 1. It's pretty neat. You can attach a water as well next turn. Cleffa was kind of 2012 throwback. It will die here, which is good. I think what I'll do is I'll let that Plasma Energy go. So Tails, I get to play another. Doesn't really matter because it's dying this turn. Okay, so that's pretty good. Got a lot of options here. I think I'll just attach this to the Kyurem, build it up. I don't need to do anything else really. I think I can put down the Keldeo. I think I'm going to get paralysed. Yeah, Frost Poison. I did like 2 Keldeo back in the day because of catcher paralysis, catcher sleep kind of crazy stuff, but this format I feel 1's okay. I also have the escape rope. Oh! I forgot its ability. Well, its body. That was actually really bad. I should have just attacked. Cannot take damage. Oh boy, interviewers' questions. So Blizzard does 10 to each of mine. I forgot about that. I'm probably losing this game, guys. Yeah, so he whacks a 60. I like this format because people seem to play kind of greedy and not correctly. Comp search. I'm probably going to have to get another supporter. I'm feeling a chorus. Let's see. There you are, chorus. I won't drop down the other Thun. Ah, I will. The 8 cards is probably quite important here. Yep, second. So here, I can actually go a little bit nuts. I'm actually going to try this. I know he's got Keldeo for Russian, but I can definitely stall this. Yeah, they both have the same retreat, so it's just 2 retreat anyway, round. I'm trying to draw a few more cards here. So I'm going to Lost Remover. I actually want an energy. Enough that I'm going to discard Chorus and Kyurem. I won't take anything here, and then I'll Bicycle up to 4. There we go. So I've got a Chorus machine in hand as well, so I don't really need to play it. I can hold this Floatstone as well. Don't need to play that down yet. Just Rain Knuckle. Keep setting up. Put this on the Kyurem. Got a dead hand for the next turn though, so. But there are still 3 Juniper, 2N, and a Pont in the deck, so let's see what happens there. It's possible I can top deck out of this. Oh, he's attached another water. Not seen a Junk Arm yet as well, so Junk Arm would get me a Bicycle. So that's 4 Junk Arm. I didn't catch what he flipped there. I think I can check in the log. 1 heads, 1 tails. I don't think I've had a game with this yet where someone hasn't flipped 1 heads, 1 tails. Online anyway. Right, so here, well, I'm fine just chipping this for another 80 because I can actually follow it up with a knockout and turn after on with Frostbeard, but maybe that isn't the best idea. So let's see, how much damage am I actually doing overall? And what's in the discard? No energy in the discard. So I'm doing 80. I think 150. Don't think he has anything to snipe. I'm also not sure he'll be playing catcher either. So I'm actually just going to attach this and knuckle again for 80. If he doesn't retreat next turn, if he has to retreat to Keldeo, then I get to Frost Spear. Seems like he's missing a lot, so he also might have N but not wanting to be playing it. There was also consideration to attach to the Deoxys. There's a potential for a catcher plus N play. Yep, he's got the rush in. I'm not sure if he has the retreat. No, didn't think so. So, this Keldeo can take a hit and then be captured later, potentially captured later. I'm not ever guaranteeing that I definitely hit them. We'll go into the Kyurem with only 2 energy, preserve my 3 energy one. That's also the reason I attached to it, to not have extra damage. Taking the 2 prizes as well means I might get another attachment onto this Kyurem and be able to do the 130 necessary to knock out this Keldeo. It's got the double rush in now. Oh, he's got DC, he's going for the, oh, wow, his hand must be pretty trash. He's dropping the Verbank. I have played 2 lasers, but no junk arms, so... Right, now let's try and remember this stuff about Cleffa this time. Okay, well I can actually discard a lot of stuff down, and then play the catcher, and actually, well... Play the catch first, random effect first, see what happens. And then I think I got my play mapped out. Catcher, tails, a bit of a shame. In which case, I'll still take this and put it on the Deoxys. Deoxys can whack the Articuno for 150. I'm going to Ultra Ball away these 2 as well. Only 1 Deoxys in play this game. I was kind of expecting a Thundurus to die a bit quicker. But no. One good thing as well, even though my bench is full, when it finally unfills, let's say when something dies, I will have a chance to play that Shaman, as long as I can Super Rod it, which I believe I'm going to do here. I don't know if... Absol can actually swing for heavy damage, so I've only dropped 1 Deoxys, so the Shaman, Kyurem and Absol are being Super Rodded back in here. Oh. Now again, I've got a Plasma Energy on this Deoxys. I'm actually going to chuck the Prism on as well. I don't think I need to Oak. There's nothing else I'm really hunting for. I think I'm just going to be Frost Spearing and hitting this Articuno for 30. Lost a Remover. Not really much point. I'm not hunting for Oak to junk arm. No, I'm perfectly fine just Frost Spearing. This puts it within range for Deoxys to KO. Of course, wakes up. Nice Chorus after the Eek. This is not even really a deck. I'm not sure what I'm against. Like, this is the sort of thing. I think some people are trying to play with Blastoise once upon a time. I can understand the Keldeo and Suicune with Blastoise, but I remember some people playing Articuno with the Plasma Energy, and then they'd be playing Genesect as well. Yeah, I remember. I think it's because they didn't have Tropical Beaches, and they kept using the excuse that it was fine with... You can just build the deck differently. Tropical Beach made Blastoise. Okay, so now he's eking. So if he stays asleep, I think I just hunt for the catcher. I hunt for a... I Oak and then hunt for the use of the junk arm. Because I don't really want to just junk arm for a catcher and go down to a 0 card hand here. And I think I've got 4 left. Okay, well I did get it. I can actually rope as well. Not doing anything spectacular with rope. I did chuck a Kyurem back in. Now I sort of look at it, that was kind of pointless. I have 2 down. I will chuck the rope. I've still got junk arms for the rope or floatstone, so just gonna have to try the catcher. Can actually... Oh. Go on, catcher. Hey. 1 out of 2 feels fairly reasonable. So, needed to remember there that I'm attacking with Deoxys this turn and not Kyurem. Kyurem is doing 130. Deoxys is doing 150. There's Kyurem. Get to attach to Kyurem now. And Helix Force for a knockout. Helix Force, seriously undervalued attack by a lot of people. I mean, you could have been kind of overrun by Mewtwo if you didn't have Helix Force. I think it'd still be tricky, but Helix Force really made Mewtwo just bad. Not bad, but not very good against it. So he's got laser. I've got 3 junk arms left. Oh, there we go. He's got the scrapper for the float. I figured that'd be coming. I have a retreat on the Deoxys as long as he doesn't get heads with laser. I don't know why I'm thinking through this match much. I'm against a trash deck that's done nothing to me yet. I still want Thundurus to die. Die Thundurus. No, I put it active. It's got one because it's got 1 retreat and an NG on it, and I don't see it dying to anything. And there we go. Puts me down to 2. Still 2 ends in my deck, but really good cards I just drew out of it. I'm actually using the old arts, old floatstone, because that was what was around then. Oh, it's got Palkia in it. That was a really cool card for a time. I really like the Palkia strafe thing. People doing that whole. There was a lot of decks that tried to use it at least a bit. There was a really cool deck. Friend Luke Saban played Trevenant Palkia. Just strafe every turn and then put Trevenant back active. It's like Excelgor, but you don't have to hunt for anything. Stayed asleep again. I think now I just hunt for the catcher for the game. Well, the junk arm. No reason to not. So miss it here. I could just... actually, have I even got energy to build up? No, I think I could just retreat and then snipe the Mewtwo. The Mewtwo just dies to the Deoxys though, so there's not much point. Unless the Mewtwo gets the first attack in. So that's worth it. 10, I'll go with the 20. It doesn't or shouldn't make too much of a difference. I'll keep the Prism NG in hand. 3 junk arms in that in that deck. Just Frost Spear, chip the Mewtwo. And heads to wake up again. I mean, one time it was my fault. But the other 3 times, it's been this guy's fault. Oh, look who decided to show up. What's this guy? What's this? Like a 1/01 Blastoise or something. Oh, that Squirtle stops it being out on the bench. Oh, that was another thing actually. Jason played a Mr. Mime in the deck, if I remember right as well. I had no chance to make it through. Mate, I've taken long turns this game. Come on, don't be eking again. Don't be getting... Don't. Oh, why? Why is this happening? Here we go, come on, junk arm. I'll chuck the 2... I'll chuck N and Verbank. Might need to use N to stop the deck out. Come on. Now, I definitely used a different thing last turn, right? Yeah, I Frostbit. So I'd be doing 130, so I'll just grab up Keldeo if I hit heads. Hey, there we go. I could also have Deoxys the Mewtwo. Well, that was a trial on 1 junk arm prize, but yeah. That was so let's look at this guy. Yep, 1/1/1. Hey, at least he's thought about which Wartortle's best. I'm not sure that's the right one, but it might just be the only one that has. Kangaskhan, Palkia, Zukin, Keldeo, Kyurem, 2 Mewtwo's, Reggie. Oh, Registeel is kind of cool. I like that card. Manaphy for the for if you don't have the Cleffa. Free retreat as well. It's actually quite cool. 1 Cleffa. This guy hasn't got junk arm either. Frozen City, not card I... Well, it's one for the ages. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hope you all enjoyed that. We've got London coming up soon, so expect a report or maybe a deck video or something or post it. Just you'll have to wait and see. We'll keep teasing you with videos like this. So for now, see you all.